Last episode, we nearly died, built some statues, and then placed our friends all over the world. And apparently you guys love the straw statues too, which I'm really actually quite pleased about, because I was a bit nervous about putting them in because, well, they're not exactly vanilla, but I think adding a small mod to be able to have this in our world is a small price to pay. And I'm glad you guys think so too. And I have a massive list of Java usernames from you guys as well, so we're going to be placing statues all over the place throughout the episode. I won't be using all of them, of course, because we need to save some for the rest of the city, but we're definitely going to get a few down today. But more importantly, today's the day we give the Sniffers a home. They've been living here underground for quite a while. In fact, they've been living here for so long, I've ended up with loads of torch flower seeds and the other ones, what are they called? The little pod things. I've already taken a couple of shulkers back to our main storage, and we've still got all of this, and 46 eggs, which means we can probably move these ones upstairs, but we may also just be able to get some new ones and save ourselves the hassle, but we'll see. Let's not decide their fate at the start of the episode. And something else we need to do before we get started is to give this shop a name, because I was supposed to do that last episode, I completely forgot. And in fact, I'm going to need to grab myself a sign before I can name this place. And we're going to be calling this place Wandering Trader Joe's. And initially I didn't have a clue what that was because I'm not American, but apparently over in the USA, Trader Joe's is a huge grocery store chain. We just don't really have anything like that in the UK. And quite a few people suggested that, so thank you for the naming there. And apologies for not doing that last episode. But now that's done, we can get on with planning this building. And because apparently I just really don't like myself, I've decided that I want to use brown mushroom blocks as the main palette for this. And I don't have any, like none whatsoever. So the first step today is going to be growing lots and lots of brown mushrooms and then chopping them down, with the hope of getting enough blocks to build a skyscraper. So yeah, I could be here a while. I've almost killed my axe, but we now have 3.5 boxes of the brown mushroom, and hopefully that's going to be enough to actually do this building. If not, we can always make more. It doesn't actually take too long, but I do need to go fix my axe before we do anything, and it's dark, so I should probably go to bed. I've grabbed a few more bits and bobs from storage, and I think I've got everything I need to make a start on this. And, well, I think I've actually made a decision about what we're going to do here as well, but we'll cover that later in the episode. For now, I just need to get a building marked out and figure out how we're going to lay this one down. So I think we're going to go with something like this. We're going to have a doorway here, which will be an entrance to the sort of upper areas of the building, which is, of course, where we're going to have the sniffers. And then we're going to have a couple of big windows here, a smaller window there, and the entrance is going to be here on the corner. I've also left a gap at the back of the building here, so we've got plenty of space for a loading bay, some parking, some big skips and rubbish collection, maybe even some doorways into these other buildings, that kind of thing. So I guess the next step is going to be to build up the walls a little bit more and see if we can actually work out the style for this ground floor. I think that should work nicely for the shape of the ground floor. The height's pretty good as well. I think I just need to get a trim in now and try and separate this from what's going to be going on above. So let's do something like this. We'll get some quartz stairs in. Let's mix in some non-smooth ones as well. And we're going to use some slabs. And we're going to put the slabs on top like that. Let's get in some normal quartz stairs. Let's mix this up a little bit. And same with the slabs. And that should give us a nice lip there. And I think the colors are going to work well as well. Yep, that works nicely. Now let's figure out the doorway. Maybe let's start with some slabs here. Some blocks at the back. It'd be quite good to get some lighting in here if we can. I wonder. Maybe some sea lanterns and iron trapdoors would work. So let's just jam those in and see how it looks. I think that works pretty well. And let's just get this door framed out a bit better. Well, I'm struggling to get the door in the size and shape that I want, so I think I'm actually going to move this entire wall here back a block, because that way I can have an odd number here, and I think it's going to be a lot easier to put in a nice door. There we go, that's much better, I think, although I do need to sort out this side here now. I think that should do the trick just nicely. I've used some spruce fences at the top here to add a little bit of detail. I've just used glass panes in here. I did actually start with some blocks, but I ended up putting them out because it didn't really look right. And then just a couple of benches and some foliage down the bottom here. I think that should work nicely, especially once we get some window displays in. So I guess the next job is to figure out what we're going to do with the rest of the building. And I think I'm going to use the same approach I did on that one and just work out the first floor and then go from there. So I've kept this one fairly simple, but I think it should work. But I want to get a couple more floors in just to make sure. added more than just a couple of floors, but I think this is going to work just nicely. I think it's about the right size for this block. It leaves the space here that I want for what we're doing here, and we've got a nice dingy alleyway at the back that we can work with as well. But before we do any more on the outside, I think it's time we take a look at where we're going to be doing the farms. So I've also separated this from the main shop floor, although I don't actually know what we're going to do for a shop down there yet. We'll have to tackle that later, I guess. But something I do want to do is not just actually have the sniffers here making what they make, but I want to actually grow the flowers as well. So I think we're probably going to use a couple of floors here just to have like some kind of growing area, I guess, for these different plants. And then up on this floor here, this is where we'll actually have the sniffers. And then the floors above that, I guess we're probably just going to turn into apartments of some kind. I don't really know. We'll figure that out later. But to be honest, I've still got 2 floors in the greengrocers and about 5 floors in the cafe as well that also need apartments of something upstairs. That's going to be a big old job for future Beardy. So for the sniffer farm itself, my plan is to keep this quite simple. I think we're just going to basically cover the floor in grass and dump a load of sniffers in here. Although we'll mix in a bit of moss as well, of course, so the eggs can grow quickly. That should do it. And I think we'll put the collection point in over here on this side. So we'll have an observer pointing down there. And if we go down below, we'll have one pointing up, and that should keep flashing. Lovely. And of course, the note block on top. And I think I want to have like a raised platform that goes all the way around. So we are, of course, going to fence this in one way or another. But I think it'll be nice to have some kind of a viewing area so we can see what they're up to in there. So I think to keep these guys fenced in, I'm going to use some walls. But obviously, this is going to be a problem. So, yeah, maybe we should move this ever so slightly. That's better. They shouldn't be able to escape now by walking over the note block. Let's get the rest of these fences in. And we need to sort out this lighting issue as well. So if we just place some sea lanterns with some moss over the top, that should do fine. I've added a few things just to make it a little bit nicer for our sniffers in here. Although I have run out of leaves, I want to get a little bit more on the ceiling. But I think it's time we actually get the sniffers in there because, well, they take ages to produce things and we want to get them started. And I guess that means we need to drag the allays up here as well, which should be interesting. Come along, you 3. That's it. Keep following. Come on, you 2. Just one more floor, and then we'll go find your friend. That's it. Now go get attracted to the note block. The other guy's outside the window. What are you doing out there? I wonder, if I break a window here, will he fly in? Oh, he will. Look at that. He loves it. So if I release these 2, hopefully they'll go over to the note block as well. Let's just swap out what it is they're collecting. Well, they seem to be staying in the room for now, at least, but we'll see what happens, I guess. We might have to trap them in a bit more. This guy seems to keep wanting to make a break for it. Well, let's go get the sniffers and see how we get on. The sniffers are in their new home, and for some reason they seem to shrink on the way up. I have absolutely no idea how that happened. They just seem to have shrunk. Maybe it's the size of the building, just makes them look smaller, yeah? And I've also decided to block off this wall because the LAs kept going upstairs and downstairs, and well, that's not where we want them. We want them in here. But now that farm's up and running, we just need to sort out the next couple of floors down below. So, as I say, what I want to do down here is I want to have something set up so we're actually growing the plants down here, which means we need to feed these down first into some kind of a collection point. In fact, we could probably just do that in the center here. And then we need to build a whole load of planters. So I think this is going to work well as a layout. It gives us lots of different planters to put all the flowers in. I'm just filling up these with water, and I do have a plan for these middle bits. I just want to see if it's going to work. So we'll do that first, and then we're going to put scaffolding down. And then what we want to do is some form of lighting. And I'm wondering if we do something like this. I think that should work all right, and then that gives plenty of space for the plants to grow as well. So let's quickly fill out the rest of these. Looking good, although we do need to cover up the sides of these. Let's maybe make some bamboo trapdoors. They looked quite good last time. Wow, we've got a lot of bamboo. That adds a nice bit of colour. I like it. Now let's get all these planted. I think we're going to go for torch flower on this floor. All right, cool. That's looking good. We've just got a little bit more to do. We need to sort out the ceiling up here, and I think I want to add a splash of colour on that back wall there. And to get that splash of colour, my thinking is let's use some green terracotta because, well, for some reason we've got absolutely loads of it. Nothing to do with last episode, I'm sure. Well, the splash of colour certainly looks a lot better, and I've also done the ceiling, which, yeah, we don't need to talk about how long that took. Loads of the torch flowers are starting to grow up now as well, and that's really filling out this room. I'm absolutely loving how this is coming out, in fact, but we need to go downstairs and do this for the pods as well. What in the world are you doing up there? How did you even get up there? One whistling tune later and the turnip room is done. These things really do look like turnips, don't they? Especially at this stage. But once they fully grow up, this room should be looking pretty awesome as well. And with that, I think we're basically done. Oh, look at this. They've all grown up. And whenever we need torch flowers or the pod ones, we can just come and grab them and replant is the basic plan. And all these dudes seem to have grown up as well now. Oh, they do look a little bit cramped now they're grown up, don't they? Ah, it's fine. They'll get used to it. Still not really sure what to do with the shop down here yet. So, yeah, I guess that still needs some more thought. I mean, we could do it as a flower shop, but I feel like it's maybe just a bit too big to be a flower shop. So while we think about what we're going to do in the shop front down here, I'm going to work on this side here. So I do have an idea of what I want to do around here. And the first part of that is going to be to get in a fire escape, which comes down the side of this building here. And we'll probably have it so it connects onto this building as well. And then we'll just sort of section it off around here somewhere, maybe put in a few dumpsters and things like that. And then in this area here, we're going to have more of a sort of a public area, I guess. So maybe a fountain or some seating, maybe even a custom tree. Yeah, we're probably not going to do a custom tree, but we're going to make something in here that looks quite nice. Hopefully, maybe. So for the fire escape, we're going to need a buttload of iron and we're going to need quite a lot of andesite as well. But I need andesite stairs. I don't really think I've got any here. I have 2 and I can make a few more. So I think we'll do something like that for the bottom of the fire escape. And then we're just going to have, well, stairs going up, I guess, and these going all the way up. We should also think about putting some doors in the side of these buildings, but they're probably not going to link up with the floors, but that's fine. This is purely aesthetic anyway. There's 3 floors in. This should actually look pretty good when it's done, I think. So let's just get the rest of these floors spammed in. I think that works pretty well. What a lovely fire escape. Although we should get rid of these bits here. So next up, I want to put up some kind of a fence here and create a kind of waste collection point, I guess. So first up, we'll just use some trapdoors for this fence, I think. And I want a whole bunch of coarse dirt, but I've only got normal dirt at the moment, so I guess I should just go dig up a bit of the ocean. Oh, it would be a warm ocean around here, wouldn't it? There's no gravel. Oh, here's the tiniest patch of non-warm ocean. We can grab what we need from here. We should have enough now, so let's get some of this down. So that'll do as the canvas. We will mix this up a bit as we build on it, because I do want to make sure that some of it is actually sort of slabbed over and concreted as well. But I think I want to get in a couple of sort of big old skips or trash can type things in here. And for that, I think I'm going to go back to storage and get some materials. I have no idea what we're going to build them out of yet. So let's try and build a mangrove one of these things and figure out how we're going to do it. Let's just start with the basic shape, I guess. Well, I went through a few different versions, but I think I've settled on what kind of works as big sort of rubbish container type things. Especially from a distance, they definitely work better from back here. But now we've got that in, I think what I want to do is sort of mess up the rest of this place, maybe get some other stacks of just stuff really that's been placed around. And I've got an idea for this bit here as well. And that is to use paintings like this, you know, where they just spam and repeat the same poster over and over again on the side of things. I think something like that could work quite well. Although something else I could do is use it to advertise my movies. Excellent. I think that's a good mix. Marvelous. So what I want to do now is sort out this floor. So we're going to mix in a bit of stone and stuff initially. And then that will give us a nicer transition down from the street as well, which is good. And I think around the bottom of the bins here, we're going to mix in some mycelium because it looks like manky ground. And a little bit of podzol as well, as if stuff's been leaking out of the bin. And then we'll just mix in a little bit of rooted dirt alongside some normal dirt. And that should give us some sort of light patches in the middle here. I think that's looking good for the floor. Now let's just pile up loads of clutter, I guess. So I'm just going to want some barrels and composters and just other blocks like that, I think. And with those few additions, I think we're actually done out here. I really like this little area. But now we need to figure out what to do over here. So maybe we put some kind of flower bed type thing in at the back here. Then let's just get this filled in for now. I wonder if maybe we can do some kind of a sort of sunken seating area down here, maybe. Something like that, maybe. And then we can just get some benches in, I guess. I think just some simple bone benches down here will work nicely. And for the trees, I think I want cherry blossoms, mainly because they're going to have all the little floaty bits down. I think this is going to be a lovely area to sit with those going on. There we go. That's better. A nice bit of colour on the corner. We've got the blossom falling down. Just missing a couple of finer details. We need to get some texture around here. And of course, we need to crack out some straw statues. That's the floor sorted. I've even added in a couple of the new flowers at the back here. But now let's sort out some straw statues. And I think the first thing I'm going to do here is actually put down a family of 4 that have requested to be in the world, and I think that's going to work quite well. And can I just say the response on that has been absolutely massive. I have a list of about 150 Java usernames, so if you don't see yourself in today's episode, hopefully you will as we expand the city. I'm just going to randomly spam them down every now and then. I won't necessarily be shouting out everyone who's there, but if you see yourself, let me know in the comments. So let's get this family of 4 down first, shall we? I threw a bunch of people out of a helicopter. But I've had a lot of fun bringing life to this city, and I've barely even scratched the surface of all of the different people that have submitted their names for this. So as I say, over time we will continue to add more and more, and as the city expands, I'll probably be requesting more and more as well. But I particularly like this area down here. I think this has come out really well and kind of helps seal off this corner, although it would be good to get a big old billboard up there at some point. And I've still come to absolutely no conclusions about this area down here yet. So if you've got any ideas, please do let me know in the comments. And once again, if you do want to see your statue in the world, then do let me know in the comments with your Java username. Sadly, I can't do Bedrock ones. It just doesn't work. Sadness, I know. But sadly, that's all we've got time for today. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye now.
Where did they go? Where did they go? I know you know something. He knows something.